I'm gonna steal your sunshine and I'll shit on your parade. Don't get me started on doing Michael Caine. My opinion matters, yours will fall in last place. I'm not shutting up and you'll be learning my name. Fifth in the family, but first in my mind. 1 out of 10, but I'm ranking just fine. We've only got now, there's no afterlife. Look, Mom and Dad, I'm just speaking my mind. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everyone's coming on Kyle tonight. Wait, what? No, nobody's coming on Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking to drink, smoke, or eat and cry. I never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking to drink, smoke, or eat and cry. I never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die.
Hey, everybody, we are live here with Season 5, Episode 5, live at 9. I was having a lot of fun with that when I was posting things. It was just for me, but live at 9, the 5. Being real stupid and very entertaining just to myself, as is tradition on this show. For Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up, I am your host here, Kyle Mocha. Thank you all for joining us in the present and the future. Man. Right now, you're all in the future. Thank you for listening in on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere that you might get us. And joining me here every week, without fail. I try to lose him sometimes. What? Mr. Justin Olimpado. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good.
You're doing all right today?
Yeah.
We have
tricky song tonight.
Yeah, tricky song tonight.
But Zach, you know what? It's
still up there.
It's a very simple bass song, right? It's very easy.
The idea of the song, in a nutshell, is not a difficult song, but he made it more. Man. He made it pretty difficult there. It was a pretty difficult struggle through. But we're going to get to all of that in a little bit. We also are going to be having a featured song tonight from, I think it might be one of the first rappers that we're having that's not somebody we have worked with.
True.
And that is Trey Tuck, a really awesome rapper out of Bristol, Connecticut. So we're going to be playing his single that's called Picture That a little bit later on. But as we like to do, we like to find weird people in the world that we're friends with, people that we can hang around with, chit-chat, and get to know. And today we are joined by a really awesome and very special guest. We've got the Necrosexual here with us today. The Necrosexual is joining us via the Zoom. And
you can unmute yourself, dude.
Yeah, you gotta give yourself an unmute there. We're gonna talk.
What's up, birds?
Oh, there he is. There he is. We got the Necrosexual. I'm sorry. You are more than fine. I gotta say, before we get to really chit-chat, and we're gonna get to a whole interview with you later on, that's a very nice picture in the background.
Yes, it is.
Is that of anybody special to you?
Oh, it's just an old face I put on, but I do have the most perverted and dedicated fans on this side of hell. So that is a portrait by Mr. Daniel Deruta, and it's certainly ties the room together.
It really does. It really brings everything together. I was watching one of the videos the other day, and I'm just like distracted. I'm like not knowing where to look. I'm going back and forth, and I'm like, this is fucking beautiful. Now, did that portrait come with a rest of the body? How perverted did it get, or is it just the face?
That's just it. But it is based off of a very influential photo shoot that I did in the Poconos involving myself and some raw meats and sausage and my groin that you've probably seen on some of my YouTube videos or on my Instagram and social media. So that was one of the outtakes that he did a very realistic painting of.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, good job there. You said Daniel, great job on that fucking artwork.
Bravissimo.
Yes, I again would have liked to see more of the full body, that wonderful perviness, but that's just what I'm into, Yeah. So weird thing that happened this weekend while waiting for Mr. Zachary to get down here. There's been a lot of bears in the Poconos, more so than usual.
Well, I feel like there was a whole wildlife. I feel like things got shifted around because there wasn't a lot of people around, not as many cars. So bears moved in territory for a little while. Yeah,
and we've been dealing with one over at my house that keeps stealing our fucking garbage every week. Literally stole our garbage can and do not know where it went, but it's like the third time that it has happened. We found it upwards of a half a mile away on the side of the road. But my mom was up. She lives up in this community in the Poconos called Saw Creek. And we have a little Shih Tzu pug dog that she's had. She named it Cuddles because she didn't listen to anybody else on what to name. She goes, I'm naming it one of two things, either Cuddles or Christmas, because those are the two things I love the most. And I'm like, you're the sweetest lady in the world. Can we name it Beans? Can we just name it Beans? That's one of the things I love most in the world is beans. And beans are good for your heart, Like, we've established this as children. But either way, so Cuddles was outside, got off her leash, and a family of bear had been in the neighborhood. Right. And she's, again, a Shih Tzu pug. She looks like a little mini luck dragon running around the yard. And she saw a bear, started barking at it, and chased down the bear. And the bear escaped up a tree from this little fucking Shih Tzu, man.
That's what they say. That's what they say. Make a lot of noise and run at them because the brown bears, or rather the black bears that are indigenous to the Pocono Mountains and that East Coast, they're a bit more timid. They just want to eat trash. Yeah. And they want to get more snacks. Now, if this was like the Pacific Northwest,
don't
or
fuck
Alaska,
Kodiak,
it would be the Shih Tzu would be bear food, a little snack.
That's what I immediately thought. She was gonna Cuddles chase the bear down, and I'd be like, and that's how you're telling us the dog's dead. Okay, that'd be terrible.
Well, I mean, do you think the bear would even fuck with that little dog, or do you think it'd just be like, all right, fuck it?
I mean, a big bear, like a big, like an actual brown bear, a Kodiak, like a mammoth-sized fucking bear, would probably see it and go, shut the fuck up, and shove it in its mouth real quick. Like, it would just be ripped to shreds instantly. But apparently, versus our wimpy-ass Pocono garbage-eating bear, you can just run up to it and bark and be a tiny little adorable shovel-faced fucking puppy.
What scares you more?
Yeah,
Poconos bears or a moose?
A moose.
Yeah,
a moose,
for
100%. A Pocono. Sure. I mean, I walked home from school. I remember as a kid, and there was like a bear kind of like walking alongside me in the woods, and I was just like, just keep your head straight and just don't pay attention to it and just keep walking. For about a half a mile, I remember, like, as a little kid walking to or from the bus, that happening. So I'm a little bit more, I'm used to the bears. I'm still terrified of a bear. If I saw it and I was just standing outside and we were face to face, I would probably shit myself.
Right.
And then I wouldn't charge it and I wouldn't make a lot of noise, so it would eat me. That's just what would happen.
I've also heard of local bears. It was a story in the paper where a guy was out with his kids.
Okay.
Just in the middle of a lake, like on in a canoe.
Yeah.
And he saw a bear at the edge of the fucking lake.
Mm-hmm.
So he turned the fucking canoe around, and as he was doing that, I guess the bear thought it was something edible.
Oh.
So it just chased the dude for miles through. Damn. Like, this dude broke into a fucking screened-in porch.
He thought the dude was a garbage can. That's
probably.
What he thought. He was a pile of trash.
Fucking crazy.
If he was a local guy, it's a good chance that he was. It's a real good chance that he was. But hey, I now want to see a fight between the smallest dog and the biggest bear. If anybody can get on orchestrating that, I think it'd be pretty fucking awesome. I think it'd be a good time.
Yeah.
Another weird thing that happened this week. You sent me this, and then I had to read the article. The Denver Broncos, in honor of the new South Park episode that's dropping tomorrow, filled the entire stadium with South Park cutouts,
which is pretty cool, man.
Which is great because it's got to be distracting a little bit. You're like, already there's no real noise happening. But all the fake noise isn't them.
Fake pictures of people.
Yeah,
like
but even more so. Maybe you could convince yourself that the noise you're hearing is from the human cutouts. But if it's not just full of Trey Parker and Matt Stone's voices in the background...
do you think it would... Did they play the sounds from, like...
I hope. That's what I'm saying. I hope it's like... going on in the background. Or they're like, hi, damn it, get over there. Just a bunch of that. Yeah, there's a bunch of... I hope there's a bunch of Canadian fans in there somewhere. Yeah. It would work. It would be fucking... It would totally work. It would be one of the cooler things. But I thought that it would... It's impressive that they did that. But it'd be cool. I would like to see other shows get in on this as well. I think The Simpsons should do it because they could probably fill an entire stadium with all original characters, like without repeating a character. Baseball stadium, maybe.
Sure.
But like a smaller stadium, you get like at least like a high school stadium you could fill with the fucking Simpsons. You've seen those posters,
sure.
Like 5,000 fucking people in that. But I think that would be really cool. Or just every bad guy from the X-Files. Just fill the stands with every single X-Files villain.
All right, so what team would get that?
For the X-Files? I mean, it would have to be the Washington football team.
Yeah, true.
It would have to be the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Which I'm still enjoying seeing that name just up. I think they should just keep their team name as the Washington football team. Keep their colors as red and gold. Yeah. And if they don't do the whole R-word idea, just call themselves the Washington R-words, because it just sounds so much more fucking offensive.
The Washington Republicans.
Yeah, the Washington Republicans. That's a pretty offensive thing right there. That would be a pretty offensive thing to be. In 100 years, people would be like, "You stole our whole thing. We're really offended that you ripped off our name. We are the Republicans, not you. All right, not you." This would be a good soundbite to pull later too.
Yeah.
So Justin, you got into the new Deftones album this week, right? Yeah,
I did.
How? When did it actually come out? It wasn't the 11th, was it?
No, it came out later? Officially this past week.
It was a Friday release, right?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, so it was the 25th.
Oh, 25th. Oh yeah, wait. We're 2 weeks removed from the 11th. Yeah, that would make sense.
I believe.
I do all of my dates off of 9/11. I look at how long till 9/11 or how long after 9/11, and that's how I assess where we are in the month. So we are 2 weeks past 9/11 right now. But yeah, so the new album. What is the title of this new album?
Ohms.
And Ohms as OHMS, like the unit of measurement, right? Yes. Word. Oh, we got a little Zachary Storman in the chat here saying that he is almost done. Done. So, it's 9:13. We were both wrong.
We were
I said 9:06. I was trying to give him a little bit of time, and then I kind of made you bet 9:10. But he'll be down here shortly. So far, what is your impression of this album? What is really grabbing you on it?
I think it is one of their heaviest. I think it's their heaviest album. Not in terms of like style heavy, but in terms of the way that they layered just heavy riffs on top of this weird, beautiful music. There's a lot of weird transitions and things that Deftones have never really done.
Okay.
And they also started off with notes from Diamond Eyes.
Oh, so they're tied in a little bit. Because I was going to say, I definitely heard, I heard like 2 or 3 of the songs the other day. I was listening to them, really enjoyed what I heard. But then I was driving around with our friend Nicole the other day, and she had it on. And for the first couple of minutes, I was thinking it was just an old Deftones album.
Yeah.
So that's been my immediate reaction.
It's sort of a mix of like Diamond
like
Eyes,
a classic album.
Around the Fur, White Pony at times. But then there's this really trippy, weird, not slow parts, but just melodic, weird shit going on. There's weird talking in the background, and it's just the way that, like, you have to listen to the album all the way through.
Yeah, I get you. Now, Mr. Necrosexual over here, are you a fan of Deftones? Did you grow up with their music at all? What is your impression of them?
Well, I grew up with their music the same way I grew up with Linkin Park and Slipknot's music.
Gotcha.
But I sure as hell did not listen to it. It was just happening at the time I was spending my youth. I was very fortunate in that I got into Slayer after I got into Metallica when I was 13 and 14 years old.
Right.
And this is right in the height of the early 2000s, height of emo, height of nu metal, and I just circumvented all that shit. I just sidestepped all that. Right, straight to 80s thrash metal and haven't looked back ever since. So, in a way, it does get me a little bit nostalgic because I heard a lot of that music in high school or even before high school and like middle school. And I remember hearing it on the radio or hearing it like, you know, out and about in the atmosphere. And I'd say Deftones, they've probably aged better than most nu metal bands. Let's just say.
They for sure have. They sort of got away from that nu metal title.
Nice shirt, baby.
Oh, there it is. He found it. Oh, that is. We were up there, and I was like, we got Necrosexual on tonight. He's like, oh, he's our guest. I gotta go find a shirt. I gotta go find a shirt real quick.
It's an original Grim one right there.
Yeah, that is an old guy there. That is a nice shirt, and I like it. And the old guy wearing it now joining us is Mr. Zachary Storman. That was a hell of a pop.
Yeah, it was a hard pop.
That was a satanic daddy pop. Yeah. You were fucking ripping and roaring. How did that go for you up there? That sounded like it was fun from down here.
I don't know. I have no idea how this one's
this song, and again, we'll talk more about the making of it, but this song, until we were doing the vocals, didn't really get to a point where we're like, oh, it's a song.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's kind of a song. Like, right before we started doing the vocals, and then 2 lines into me recording, you went, oh, it's like a Traveling Wilbury song. I get what we did now. I get where we're going with this. We weren't going there, but I think we got there. All right, so today, as always, we're always sipping on some beer.
Wait, before we get into that, I just want to say, if you're on the fence about listening to the album, check out either This Link Is Dead, The Spell of Mathematics. That they basically sum up the feel of the whole Deftones
of the new Deftones album. Zach, you've listened to it a little bit?
Yeah, I listened to it like 2 or 3 times.
What's your opinion on it so far?
Oh, it's like a weird. It's not angry heavy. It's like
happy heavy.
It's like a thick sort of heavy.
Yeah.
Not when you hear like a typical metal band. You're like, oh, it's heavy because you're mad.
Yeah.
This is like, it's heavy because I'm confused.
Yeah. Necrosexual heavy. Do you have any metal that you're a fan of that is happy metal? Is there any like posi? I remember in the old school hardcore days there was like posi core. Is there any posi metal? Any metal that's like not. I mean, maybe uplifting that's not like Christian metal, I guess, which would be the least metal of the metals.
I'd say Phil Collins. Yeah. That'll uplift your spirits. Or Yanni. That's my cult classics right there.
Yeah, and also very fucking metal. Very fucking metal. All right, guys, so every week we like to drink some beer, and today we're going back through the light beers we've done in the past because we're now ranking our beers on a scale of 0 to 100. So we're going to... Unfortunately, the beer that has been the highest ranked in our blind taste tests, because we're apparently just a bunch of fucking morons when we don't know how to, or we can't read the bottle. And we like Bud Light. We found out like 2 years ago that on a blind warm beer taste test, we prefer Bud Light. So we're bringing it back. We're going to do a sipping of this, and we're going to get that ranked. But first, we got to talk about what we're drinking otherwise. So let's hit the music, Justin. What are we drinking?
Drink it so you don't have to. Review it in the morning from the bathroom. Cheap booze and craft brews. Review it in the morning from the bathroom. What are we drinking? What are we drinking? Yeah!
It's very high production value in the music too.
Yeah, we're drinking pee. We're drinking Bud Light pee. So we've got that. We've got a featured beer. So before we get to the featured beer, let's talk about Bud Light.
Right.
Knowing it's Bud Light, does it affect your opinion, do you think? Knowing, because we tasted it again, warm blind taste test with James O that one episode. It got the number one. It beat out Hams, I believe, or whatever else, PBR, whatever else we were doing that episode. Which is unusual.
Change my opinion on it being my favorite beer in the blind taste test?
Yeah. Do you think that if it wasn't blind, would you have purposefully ranked it lower?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm a hater on Bud products a lot of the times. Not their sub products, just Budweiser and Bud Light. And this is just it's too, like, now that I'm thinking, it's just the easiest light beer.
I think crushed one already,
I think it's easier to drink than Miller Lite. I think it's easier to drink, I'm sorry, Hams, I think it's easier to drink than Hams.
Yeah.
Rice beer does it, man. It's super easy to drink. So I think on a scale of 0 to 100, it being a light beer, I don't want to go crazy at, but I'm gonna give it a 74. I'm gonna give it a 74. Because
that's pretty high.
It is
dude.
what it is, man. Like it's light beer. It again could just be in a blank white can that says light beer in black letters on it. I would drink it and go, yep, that's light beer, and I would like it. So I'm going 74 on this.
I'll go 62.
62. Zach, you already crushed
go
one.
Like 68.
68. Just so you know, last week you ranked something .7259 or something like that.
I know. I was thinking about doing it again.
It's included in the
math.
math.
No, this is just a solid 6.8.
Yeah, it is. It's a crushable.
It's not
easy,
quite 69.
It's not quite. It would be a lot hotter if it were. Necrosexual, sir, do you enjoy beverages of alcoholic nature? And if you do, what is usually your go-to?
I do. So just hearing you talk about room temperature Bud Light made me feel like I was in an uncountable circle of hell.
Yes.
But for me, and it's a love and hate relationship, but I often consider myself the patron archdemon of boxed wines. And it is
dark or white?
Well, as long as it's not too sweet. I can drink white, I can drink dark red, but I can't drink any of that sugary shit because if it's too sweet, it gives me an even worse heavy metal hangover than I would normally have drinking boxed wine.
Right.
But it's
drinking the red wine. It makes you feel like you're drinking the blood of your enemies. So I mean,
absolutely,
it helps there. It helps just get in the mood of drinking the blood of your enemies later on in the night.
It's got the little water pillow that's hidden beneath the cardboard exoskeleton, and if you crack it open, you can drink from the pillow and then sleep on it as you drink from the soft pillow.
If
and
this isn't made as a real thing already, it needs to be made as a real thing. It's gonna be it's gonna work. It's gonna be great.
You know what they call it in Australia?
What?
Slapping the goon.
Slapping the goon?
You take the bag out of the box and you hang it on a clothesline, and then while you chug from it, you slap the side of it.
We should do that.
Those Aussies. Yeah, those.
All right, so more
there.
of a red wine. Do you ever go to the beer side of things, or you stick mostly to the
there's a time and a place in my life that beer played a role in, and that was my early 20s. And these days, at my age, for somebody that likes to get out on stage and wear very little clothes, I gotta look good, so I can't drink beer anymore because my metabolism has slowed down. So I've had I drank beer twice in the last year, and once was at Adroit Theory Brewing Company in Virginia because we played a show there.
Oh, fuck it.
And the other one was at Atlas Brew Works in Washington, D.C. because we also played a show there, and I wasn't driving. But unless it's like free at a show like that, I'm probably not going to drink beer. I'd like to go towards like liquor, whiskey, maybe some
a nice
ginger
Malbec sometimes,
a little bit, yeah.
A good Portillo to get that good earthiness in your mouth.
Or tequila. Some nice tequila or mezcal because then you can get rowdy. Yeah.
We wrote a song that included some mezcal in it about like 2 weeks ago. Hell yeah.
We drank a bunch the other night, and you were asleep before midnight.
I wasn't before midnight. It was 12:30 that I fell asleep. I looked at my phone when I sat down to go. I made it. I threw a bachelor party at my house on fucking Saturday. Worked all day for a bachelor party.
Not for yourself.
Not for myself. for a guy, a friend of ours, Richard, who is in Frisian, that you had played with at the record store day a few years back. For him, at my house, and I'm also the officiant of his wedding. So I don't know how often the bachelor party has been thrown by the minister or whatever in history. But I think that was pretty fucking... It was a pretty rock and roll evening. We had a whole band set up in the basement. It was just switching off musicians all night. Yeah. Sounded really nice. My roommates were out of town. It was perfect. And
I missed the fights.
I heard there were slap fights in the basement after I went to bed, and I hope there's video that I can watch of this because it needs to get put up on
that mezcal will do that to you.
Mezcal. Johnny was just handing that bottle around all night.
Firewater.
Oh, it was so good. It was smooth. It's the Avion Silver. I'd never really dabbled in the Avion before. Yeah. Really liked that. I totally dug that. But speaking of things that we're hopefully totally going to dig, we're kind of giving ourselves a softball on this one because I feel like there's no way they're going to fuck this up.
Yeah.
But maybe they for the first time ever disappoint me. Our featured beer this evening, the one we're going to be doing our taste test now on, is the Wallenpaupack Brewing Company Foliage Harvest Lager. It is 5.5% alcohol, 28 IBU, so it's not going to be too much on the hops there.
Made with wildflower honey.
Wildflower honey. Now, we had a bad experience with honey 2 weeks ago. It was a terrible beer that was white wine barrel aged.
Oh, yeah.
It tasted like soap
put that out
water.
of my mind.
It was so nasty. It was called Unicornucopia. Don't ever buy it. It's fucking horseshit. All right, so here's a nice Harvest Lager. Give this a little sipper. That is the easiest thing in the world to drink. Holy shit. It's almost too late. I might knock points on it because that does taste...
It's sort of bitter.
It's got a little bit of the bitterness to it. It does have just a traditional lager feel, but I'm lacking on the harvest and the foliage, I feel like. It's a little bit lighter than I'd want, but this is a pounder. You can it is a pounder, but you can also just pound this right back. That's nice, light, and easy. What are you thinking, Zach? You got a face on. That's saying stuff that I want to hear.
Don't like it.
You don't?
Hey,
not a fan?
It's I don't. It's got that like old coffee aftertaste.
Yeah, the back of your
does.
mouth.
When your
Like,
coffee
it's very
gets
bitter.
when your coffee gets
When it sits in the pot
cold.
for like 12 hours and then you drink a little bit of it. Not a fan. I'm liking it. It reminds me more, though, of like a Sam Adams style beer.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, like a Sam Adams lager.
Yeah, that definitely... So it kind of
Yeah,
loses.
Sam Adams lager is not...
It's not good.
It's not.
It's not good. It's not a good one at all. So, Justin, what do you think on a scale of 0 to 100 on this here Foliage Harvest
It's
Lager?
a 45 for me.
45 for you?
Yeah.
All right, Zachary.
I was going to go like 42.
42. I'm going a little higher. I'm going to give it a 60, 61, I'll say, because I don't like the even numbers. I'll give it a 61. It's not offensive to me. If I keep drinking it, that aftertaste doesn't exist. If you never stop drinking, there is no aftertaste. That should be a t-shirt we make. Don't
If you
stop
never
drinking.
stop birthing, there is no afterbirth.
Yes, we can make that shirt as well. Afterbirth just has a better taste to it than the regular birth, you know? So it's like you gotta push through the birth to get to the afterbirth.
All right, so the more I'm drinking
I
this,
was about to say, there's an excellent band name called Afterbirth. They just released an album
Fuck
in
it.
Really?
2020.
I gotta look that up because it's
Yeah, they're
Zach's
sick.
new
There's-
favorite band.
Yeah, it's like super crazy, ethereal, like sci-fi death metal. It's really fun.
that's cool.
Oh shit, yeah, that's fucking awesome.
The vocals sound like clogged garbage disposal, so you know it's some good death metal. When it's just like,
Zach's gonna listen to that, and we're gonna come back from our 2-week break, and he's gonna be like, "We're writing a garbage disposal themed album."
Yeah.
And we've already written 2 garbage themed albums, so now we're gonna have to go really into the fucked up garbage disposal side of things. All right, so guys, tonight we have a featured artist like I was talking about earlier. His name is Trey Tuck. The song that we're going to be playing tonight is called Picture That. It is Trey Tuck featuring Rico. You can find him at Trey_Tuck_ on Instagram, and you can find his music on YouTube and Spotify. And I highly recommend, I did a deep dive last night. I was listening to a lot of his songs, very intoxicated, sitting out on the porch. And I really highly recommend listening to other singles that he has up on YouTube. One is called Winning. It's just fucking, it's as the kids say, it is fire. It is fucking fire.
Does it slap?
It slaps, man. It grooves and it slaps. We've got different...
Does it slap the goon?
It should slap the goon. It should slap the goon. I'll say it does. Another one called Room 414 featuring Monet. It's a very beautiful, really beautiful hip-hop song. It just feels kind of like... what's the guy? Slippery Rick? What was his name?
Slick Rick.
Slippery Rick. Slick Rick.
I kind of like that name too.
Slippery Rickery. But it kind of has like that feel. And then I was listening to, and I like had to look up this song because it got stuck in my head without me knowing, and I realized it was Sir Slippery Rick. And then I watched an interview with Trey Tuck, and he talks about how Slick Rick was one of his main influences. So this song really...
Is Slick Rick a sir yet?
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe, probably not. But he is Sir Slippery Rick in my head. But the song that you're hearing tonight is, again, called Picture That, featuring Rico. This guy's a smart rapper. He's a really fucking smart rapper. Amazing lyricist. But overall, just somebody that I am thoroughly enjoying having found.
Where's he from?
He is from Bristol, Connecticut. He is
The home of ESPN and Slippery Rick.
Oh yeah, it is. There he is. So again, he's really fun. He's got kind of like the old. It reminds me honestly of Big Pat in a little bit, like the way his flow goes and everything. I actually messaged this to Big Pat last night. I was like, you should check this guy out. I think down the line maybe you guys like could work together because it kind of has I think it would be a good balance to him. But you're going to be seeing this this quote-unquote video. It's really just that image. But again, picture that from Trey Tuck featuring Rico. It's a shorty, but a goodie. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Enjoy, and then we'll be talking about the Brunch Weekly original single.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I've been thinking about why I try now. Road to the riches got me tied down. Put a ring on your finger, girl, you mine now. Stay clear from the hate, this is my town. Coke bottle body shape, keep the ass round. I enjoy a little taste, let it shake in my face. Little slap, check the bass, shorty cannot be replaced. Swear to God, I just pray, let me eat forever safe. Like, back. Swear you perfect, know you're worth it. Coming like it's urgent. I break you down like a surgeon. I'm in your water, how I'm surfing. A living righteous got a purpose, and ain't defined by the purchase. You the type that made me nervous. They always lurking, so you treat them like the circus. We'll drop it all just to show you what your worth is.
They don't make them like you anymore. 5'5" brown eyes, that body looking right. Oh baby, I don't wanna be a player anymore. No more things on the side, they call retire.
Picture that. Ass so fat, got a double back, yeah. Different type of love, got you feeling that. Late night calls, got you running back. I'm sailing in this prime with a lion at, yeah. They say I shouldn't trust, but I ain't buying that, no. And I give a fuck by the lust, know it's all about us. Heard the rumors and discuss, never something to discuss, like. Follow intuition, girl, we on the mission. Cause travel around the world, trying to make a difference. Give you diamonds, pearls, all around the better living. 5-star restaurants in the finest lilies. Internet feeling like the love won't work. Defensive side of things, so the love won't hurt. I'm busting down your walls and I treat you like dessert. I treat you like a queen, the way you walk in this earth. Yeah.
They don't make them like you anymore. 5'5" brown eyes, that body looking right. Oh baby, I don't wanna be a player anymore. No more things on the side, they call retire. Picture that.
All right, guys, there you have it again. That is Trey Tuck. Picture that, featuring Rico. Just an easy, it's got kind of a nice slow jam, but it's got energy to it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a fucking slow jam. And like I was saying while we were listening, any rapper that has their breathing down that well, and I know how recording works. You're not sitting there recording the whole thing straight through all of the time, usually never. But the phrasing and everything, that guy's breathing is down so nice. And we've recorded rappers where the breathing, like I've been in the room while you're working with somebody, and it's just like you're not getting your breath, and you're running out at the end, and you don't have energy.
I think ultimately you try to get that one
fucking
take.
Crushes
I think
it.
almost all of Remy's album
Yeah.
is the final takes of it are one take.
One
Right.
take through, through like the verse.
Through a verse
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
chorus, you know?
But yeah, it
Now,
doesn't sound like any drop
that takes
in
a
or
lot
anything.
of practice.
And this
So
guy's got it. And go
he's
check out his
definitely
music videos because he's got some high fucking quality music videos.
Oh, yeah.
Again, at Trey_Tuck_ on Instagram.
That's like, that guy is like a guy who makes beats rapper.
Yeah.
Like, because I make beats and I've recorded so much hip hop.
Yeah.
When I hear that, I'm like, oh man, if he was in the studio, we could just. It would be so much fun.
Oh,
it'd be so easy.
Yeah, it would just
all I
be
have
a
to
good
do is hit
click and
record and
flow.
let him do his thing.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, no, he's awesome. Again, go check him out. He's got some new music coming out pretty much like every month. He's been releasing something new. Speaking of something new, we do have our Brunch Weekly original single, which we've already talked about. It's a doozy. It's a weird one. Where were you at the start of this, Zach? What were you writing, thinking we were going to accomplish, and then what the fuck did we accomplish?
Oh, Lord. Well, it started with the guitar part. I wanted something wild,
Yeah.
a little difficult, a little maybe different, lots of chords. Listen to some Burt Bacharach today.
Yes, you were.
Yep.
A lot of it, or just one song?
Like 5 songs
Okay.
a lot of times.
Did
though.
you listen to What Do You Get When You Fall in Love?
No, I was listening to that new album he put out with that dude that I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the producer you were
It's
talking
called
about.
Blue Umbrella.
Blue
I don't
Umbrella.
remember the other guy's name. I'm sorry.
Sorry, other guy.
It's Daniel, something with a T. Tar. It's not Daniel Tosh.
Not Daniel Tosh. Not Daniel Tabernacle.
It's Daniel like Tav something?
Tosh.
Something with a T. I'm sorry, dude.
Tashernacle.
But he's the singer, and Burt Bacharach made the music.
Oh,
well, they
nice.
made the music together. But
Yeah. He's got to be like fucking 85
90.
now.
Daniel
Jesus.
Tashin.
Tashin.
Tashin. There you go.
Yeah.
So you're listening
Blue
to him.
Umbrella. It's really good.
All right.
And I was listening to the new Will Butler album.
Do not know him.
He's the brother of Win Butler. They're
Do not
both
know
the
them.
two main guys in the Arcade Fire.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh shit.
okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
His new album came out on the 25th, and it's really good.
So that all went into the ideas behind this song. You wrote the guitars and you programmed some drums just kind of as place fillers there. It's a weird song. There's a lot of chord changes. There's a lot of just little things. I felt like we were almost writing an Americana math rock album, like when we first sat down, because it is probably the closest to that level of difficulty. Just for me writing lyrics to it, I was just like, I'm just writing a bunch of words, and who knows if any of it's going to work. We are attacking the tropes of country music on this on these 5 songs here.
Right.
So this one is all just about nostalgia and always looking back and wishing things were the way they were.
Right.
And that is why we named it The Way It Was.
The Way It Was.
The Way It Was.
Right.
Now, Justin, let's get into your drumming on this. This was a long session for you on drums tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it
all
was
over the place. And
I don't know. I mean, the fact that it was slower than anything we've done in a while.
Yes.
So
Yeah, we
trying
really
to get a
slowed it
groove in
down.
on that was tough. And then I just got 2 guitars, and there was times where it was just, I don't know, single notes or just drums. And there were weird parts in it.
Yeah,
so
just really
trying to
fucked
get a
up rhythm
rhythm
for
on
you to
some
try to
things
match,
was a tough one.
Yeah.
But like I was saying earlier, it's good because that's the whole point of doing this.
Yeah, every week we do these songs to kind of
I knew
push
this was
us and
gonna be
stretch
difficult
us
for
a
you.
lot.
When I came up with the whole feel of the thing, I was like,
Yeah.
good thing we started early.
Yeah.
But the drums, while it took forever for us to figure out, I think the end result, it worked.
Okay.
It works.
It worked, and it sounds good, and everything came together on the drum end very well. And there was a point where the 3 of us were just like,
What the fuck is
Yeah.
this?
it's like, well,
When
maybe
you had-
maybe we need to start over.
And we lost power at one point, and I think all of us in the back of our heads were like, maybe the song got erased, and we're gonna have to do a quick one real fast. But we didn't lose anything, and we came back from the power outage, finished up what you were doing, and I started doing the vocals. And like I said before, that it was around that time that you went like I guess it's becoming a song now. But we started adding the vocals, and it does kind of give it that Travelin' Wilburys feel. The style of the vocal approach, kind of that Roy Orbison feel, and then adding the harmonies and everything, and the little like woos, and it kind of gave me like kind of a George Harrison inspiration on that. But altogether, I think from the last time I heard it, I think we made this weird motherfucking thing a song. I think we pulled it off this week, as we seem to do. But there's always a couple songs every couple of weeks where we just go, I don't know about this one. This one's gonna be. Some are gonna be total pieces of shit, and we know that. So that's why we say that. And how long did it come in on at this one?
5:25.
5 minutes 25 seconds. And when we first sat down, it was only like 2.5 minutes long. Like we could just leave it there. And then, nope.
Oh, and then we had that bridge that just gets weird.
It does. All right. Well, I'm stoked to hear exactly how weird you made this. The Necrosexual over there is looking very, very excited about hearing this Americana experimental weirdness. So let's jump right into it. Again, this is The Way It Was, our Brunch Weekly original single off of the album Americana Super Soul. Enjoy. We'll see you guys in about 5.5 minutes, and we're going to get real deep and dirty with our guest here. Enjoy.
wondering sometimes, realizing time exists to fly by, recollecting on the when and the why, reliving all my lows, reliving all my highs. Oh, the way it was when I was younger. Oh, the way it was when I was young. Revisiting those times in my life, reignite the fire I once had inside, readying myself for a fight, looking back at all my wrongs, find a way to make them right. Oh, the way it was when I was younger. Oh, the way it was when I was young. Life in the present ain't for some. I'm still hunting for the way it was. It'll never be again the way it was back then, for the better, for the best, or so I guess. It'll never be again the way it was back then, for the better, for the best, or not perhaps. If up to me, the old days I would pick. Looking back only hurts for a bit. Oh, the way it was when I was younger. Oh, the way it was when I was young. All right, guys, there you have it. It is. Oh, we're getting a nice round of applause over there. There you have it. That is the way it was.
I think we we turned that one around.
I actually like that.
It's good. Every week I go, there's no way the song that we do this week is going to replace the song that we did last week in my rotation in my head. And last week's I listened to a lot, but I listened to all of them a lot because, I like sucking my own dick.
Which that video I'm working on.
We're gonna have a nice video.
I haven't released it yet, but it
will be out soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be getting that one up in a couple of days, next week sometime. But yeah, I think it became a song. And the weird shit that you threw in there in the middle.
Yeah.
You said while we were listening that you were also listening to Yes, and I went, okay, there we go. There you go. You were listening to Yes. That
now,
really brings it all together.
Breaking news, something we've never done before.
What happened?
When we come back from break,
oh no,
we will be doing
no way
5 more songs in the same album.
Yeah, we're gonna be actually making a 10-song album, and then we realize this because then we'll take our next break and we'll come back and it'll be time for Christmas.
And we'll make our Christmas movie.
It'll be amazing. Good secondary noise from our guest here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into it. We have here with us, you've been chilling with us all evening so far. We have the Slayer of Posers, the Black Metal Marauder, the frontman for the most electrifying band in Corpse Entertainment, the Philadelphia Prince of Black Metal. He is the Grim One, and he's also available for birthday parties, weddings, and funerals.
All right.
Now, last year, he released an album under Necrosexual, the Glory Hole Overture in F sharp, right? Or F minor? Is it F sharp?
That's F sharp. It's Glory Hole.
Yeah, Glory Hole.
The most often mispronounced album title of all time.
Because you immediately want to say Glory Hole. You immediately want to say that.
Get your mind out of the gutter, you pervert.
I never do. I never do. So thank you so much for being here. It's
hello.
It's
thank
the
you.
first time we are having such a. I don't know the words to describe you. Such a beautiful guest, such a intense guest, such a metal. You are the most metal guest we have ever had on our show. So thank you so much for doing this and for being here.
And I would also like to add that I'm probably the most metal person ever to come out of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, in the history of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania.
Because you are a Poconos native. You are from the Stroudsburg area.
Yes, a pervert of the Poconos.
Yeah, and you made the mass exodus with most other people out of the Poconos at the smart age of not 30, and you started getting your shit going down in Philly. Now, tell us, for the people listening at home, people listening on podcast format everywhere, where did the band Necrosexual come to be? What was the brainstorming process, and then when did you start playing live?
Well, the Necrosexual as a musical incarnation, that's something that's always been in my heart. Heavy metal was my first love. And I've played guitar and bass since I was 10 years old. I'm a classically trained hellraiser. I don't think a lot of people realize that. And while I started publicly performing as the Necrosexual in 2011, I always had the seed of wanting to make rambunctious, high-speed, poser-slaying heavy metal for a long time. And so it was about 2014. As a matter of fact, I want to say it was Valentine's Day 2014
that
we played our first show with a prototype Necrosexual band, and then the rest is kind of history. It took a little bit of time to get started, and 2015 we only played 1 or 2 shows, but we kind of solidified the lineup in 2017, and very soon after recorded my debut album at the ripe age of 30 years old, Grim One. And I'm still raising hell, and there's plenty more riffs to come.
Fuck yeah,
Justin, when did we see him?
Halloween party.
That was Halloween 2017 that you saw me in.
Was it 17?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
30 years ago now.
The show was together.
Yes.
We were in some random sweaty basement. We were like,
smoky
all right,
basement too.
This is this party. We'll go to it.
Yeah.
And then this fucking guy, that's why I bought his shirt. This guy, I had no idea who this guy was or anything. And he just is It's the only dude in corpse paint, so I immediately respect him.
Yes.
And then he gets up, it just is a wild-ass set. And then when I had to buy a shirt. I was like,
yes, shirt looks good on you.
This shit is awesome.
Those shirts are first print, completely sold out, so you got it at the right time.
Money.
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
With that black metal money, baby.
Yeah.
Is there a black metal market? Is there a black metal market that you can sell that on?
The black.
My Bandcamp, you can buy it on.
Black.
Well, you can't buy it on my Bandcamp anymore because it's sold out. You have to be in the inner circle of eBay and Discogs to sell that shit.
Also, we were saying from that Halloween party, that's when Cisco was Gandalf with his glowing staff.
Oh, yeah.
Gandalf the Puerto Rican.
Gandalf the Puerto Rican, yeah. Oh,
Cisco is a good dude, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Now, you guys started playing, and you said in like 2016 or 2017 is when you guys saw them. What is for you? What is the biggest show that you have played to date? Is there anybody that you've gotten to open for, or anything you've gotten to headline that was just like fuck yeah, like rock and roll,
I've headlined a few shows in the Philadelphia area because they need somebody to jump on that grenade. But I've also done a lot of DIY stuff, so it's DIY or die. You have bands that come from out of town, come from a long way, so you want to put on a proper occasion for them. So some people that I played with from out of town that we've headlined has been Evil Terror. They're from Columbia by way of Washington, D.C.
Hell yeah.
It's just one of them. Some other cool bands from Wisconsin. We had Wardens that we headlined for. They did one of their first tours in Philadelphia. And in terms of big names I've opened for, Tragedy, the all-metal tribute to the Bee Gees, good dudes, and also the mighty John Michael Thor, one of the first dudes to ever do Viking metal in the 70s, way before Manowar, way before Enslaved or any of the black metal bands started like cosplaying their Scandinavian shit. So yeah, he's a super interesting dude. He's like a bodybuilder turned rock and roller, and he's still going at it. Yeah, like 50 years later. So I got to open for him at Philomoka. Yeah, so that was a grim pleasure.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Now, when you started performing, the entity of Necrosexual as you are, did that exist aside from the music in any capacity? Were you presenting as the necromancer, or as the, I keep wanting to say necromancer. There's magic cards next to you. It's going to happen all night long. I'm just going to keep looking at them. But as the necrosexual, did you start were you doing birthdays, parties, and funerals before you were doing music? What was it like?
Of course, yeah. That's the name of the game. You have to start somewhere. It's a long mountain to climb. I started performing. It was September 2011, so it just came up on my almost 10-year anniversary of that in Philadelphia, and I had dabbled in like stand-up comedy, and I did improv, and it was a show where Necrosexual made his public debut. I always tell everybody that the Necrosexual was born when I was 14 years old, and I listened to Slayer for the first time. So the seed was planted
inside you.
It's not really so much of like bringing a character to life. It's just really turning up my inner Hellraiser to 11 on all fronts. So in that way, it kind of comes from a very natural, authentic place. And so in 2011, I started performing, doing comedy, and soon after I started doing my YouTube presence. So I became the Joan Rivers of black metal, interviewing bands all over the world.
But wait, what? Did you have to wait for her to die? Because Joan Rivers was the Joan Rivers of black metal. Come on.
I did start using that term after she died, after respect, but I think that there's something to be said for her work ethic. She refused to go away. The more you hated her, the funnier she was, and she always busted her ass. She was always hustling, not just doing comedy, but doing interviews and red carpet stuff, and she wasn't afraid to laugh at herself.
And making that weird clone daughter of hers, making that weird clone daughter.
Wait, Joan Rivers has a clone daughter?
She's got a daughter.
Melissa Rivers,
Melissa Rivers, as she gets older, must be having the same plastic surgery her mother had, because they're just slowly starting to look like mother and daughter again.
It's crazy.
So speaking of your YouTube, you do a lot of interviews and have done so. What was the first soiree into that? What was the first time that you went, fuck it, I've got the opportunity to interview somebody, I'm going to take it and make it?
Yeah, you can see it on my YouTube. It's Peter from In Flames, which is funny because they're not really that heavy of a band anymore. Like they put out a few heavy albums in like the mid '90s, and now they kind of play like new metal. So, but they were coming around to Philly, and I interviewed him. He was super cool. I put it on YouTube. Again, it got like an instant response. People either loved it or they just were like, fuck this guy. But that also means that I'm doing something right. If people take the time to be turned off, I think that a 50-50 pass-fail ratio is really good. I'll take those odds with 50-50. Either love me or hate me. And I think that's my personality in a nutshell. So my YouTube videos and pretty much anything I put out in the public has been either love it or hate it. So it was right around that time, and I've been doing that ever since. I've got to interview people like Abath from Immortal, Ace Frehley from a little band you might have heard called Kiss.
Hell yeah, I did not see that one. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, that's on my YouTube. Zach Wilde from the Ozzy Band, Alex Skolnick from Testament. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Alex. Dorka Presh, the metal queen. So yeah, I'm really trying to interview like the biggest names, the who's who. I want to be... Of course, I'm an entertainer. I love to play music and I like to be creative, but I also do pride myself on having those morbid talks and, learning from the great ones. And my YouTube channel and now on Spotify and streaming podcast platforms as well is where you can really catch up on all of those transcripts of dark heavy metal knowledge.
Now, is there the Mount Rushmore of metal that you would like to? Not necessarily be on. I mean, obviously you should be on it at some point.
Yeah, who's my personal Mount Rushmore?
Who's your Mount Rushmore of heavy metal? If you could get to interview them or just to respect their fucking work.
I mean, some of them are dead already, but I feel like Lemmy from Motorhead would have to be there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I would say
you could climb his mole if it was Mount Rushmore. You could have like picnic on his mole.
Yeah, I would say as an honorable mention, I would have Rushmore moles on Lemmy. So like one of them would be. I'll focus on the big ones first. I would say Kronos from Venom. You gotta have some Venom. I feel like you have to have not Ozzy Osbourne, but I mean him too, but Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath because they were like the first heavy band ever to really take it to that extreme.
Metal riffs, dude.
Yeah.
It's on his shoulders. So Mount Rushmore should be just on Tony Iommi's shoulder. It should be a giant Tony Iommi and then a bunch of people sitting on his shoulder. Yeah, and I guess that for like the fourth head, we said Lemmy, we said Venom. I'd say either Jeff Hanneman from Slayer. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And maybe King Diamond. Maybe one of Lemmy's moles would be like King Diamond, and the other one would be like Tom G. Warrior from Celtic Frost. So that kind of like covers I feel like if you go back to those bands, each one of them, pretty much any style of metal today like has, or extreme metal, whether it's like black metal or thrash metal or death metal, they all pretty much have roots in those people.
Fuck yeah. Now, are in the opposite way, are there people that are highly respected in the metal world that you should be, that you think should be...
Should shut the fuck up.
Shut up, go away, and just stop dealing with it, stop giving us a bad name, stop claiming us as...
Corey motherfucking Taylor from Slipknot needs to shut the fuck up and stop making music.
You don't like Stone Sour? You're not a Stone Sour guy? No.
I told you I bypassed all that emo shit when I was 14 years old.
He did start out in Stone Sour, so it makes sense as
he started off in Slipknot before Stone Sour, but then
no, he was Stone Sour.
Like what? Band.
Really? So he was
he brought it back years later?
Yeah, he brought it back after he was rich.
I'm still the scene kid, guys. Yeah, we can tell,
I still got cred. Take my mask off. It's still me down here.
I'm just a lonely barista with a guitar. I'm sensitive.
Take your mask off in the fifth album.
Is there anybody besides him that you think should just disappear, shut the fuck up, and never?
Fucking Rob Flint from Machine Head. His music is awful, and he still is on like front pages. Like you haven't contributed anything like meaningful. Like he peaked. He was in a band called Violence. And he peaked in like the 80s, and he's just been making this like terrible Machine Head music. But for whatever reason, like he's still connected enough within the industry that they'll be like, "Oh, Rob Flynn like farted. Like let's put that on the front page of this magazine. Like what do you think about this?" So,
would you say that they are the least metal people in metal in your opinion?
I mean, who am I to judge, right?
I think you're the necrosexual. You can judge all you want.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely the most annoying, put it that way.
I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. So we were talking about how they saw you a couple of years ago at a Halloween show, but my brother, I was talking to him, and he was in the bathroom at his house, and he was just like, and he's looking at a poster on the wall that says Necrosexual. You played Record Store Day with Frisian and a couple other bands a few years back. You stated earlier when we were talking before we went live that might have been not one of the best moments in your musical career. Can you take us a little walk through what exactly happened and why you have that mindset on it?
Yeah, so it was Record Store Day. It was in the middle of the afternoon at the Main Street Jukebox, which is a great place. It's a wonderful store that I've been to pretty much all of its various incarnations because it's been around since 1994, I think, and it's been at like 4 different locations all on Main Street within like 2 blocks.
Yeah,
so much
since the 90s, bro.
Yeah, so it certainly has a lot of heavy metal history. A lot of my CDs and vinyls I got there and still do. But it was Record Store Day, I want to say like 2013. Tom, the owner, was like, you should play it. And this was before the music thing was really kicking off. But I did do like stand-up comedy, and I would have like a drummer do rim shots and maybe like keyboard effects on my punchlines, and it got a pretty good like reaction. And so it was in Stroudsburg, and I had my regular group of like perverts to help me out. So who do I get to be my rim shot drummer? I got my dad from Stroudsburg. And I get him up in corpse paint, and he felt stupid and was like complaining the whole time. And I was like, "Oh, don't worry, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be sick. Like, people are gonna like dig it." And oh shit!
What the hell?
Whoa, we're getting some alarms going on.
I think my girlfriend's making fried chicken, and I'm pretty sure that it's.
Jesus Christ!
The house is on fire.
Your house is on fire. Well, if you gotta go for a house on fire, you gotta go for a house on fire. But
we're just gonna power through this. It'll be.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That was a special gift for all our ASMR listeners that tune it all the way up.
It's not a real black metal guest unless something catches on fire, so I'm happy to.
Statement. Yeah.
But yeah, so we're doing Record Store Day, and again, this is the middle of the afternoon. It's a big space. There's no like real PA system. They're just sort of like, all right, here it is. And so I'm doing my set with my dad on the drums, and everyone is just sort of like browsing. There might have been like 20, 30 people, but they're all just like browsing at records throughout this big kind of cavernous record store, not really congregating. So I just kind of became like the background music really fast, and then like my mom was in the audience though, so she's kind of like watching me bomb, and my dad is behind me like watching me bomb, or just not even bomb, just being met to like indifference and just. It's even worse than bombing. It's just people like not even paying attention to you.
Are better than silence. I'd rather I was doing stand up in Philly for a little bit, and it's pretty brutal. I did like the Medusa Lounge.
Ooh, yeah.
I did.
Did you go on at like what, 1:30 a.m. or 2 o'clock?
1:30 in the morning. It's me and 4 other fucking comedians in the room, and that's all it was. And it was met with nothing. Like there was no response. And then I would get off the stage, and there was no response from anybody. And I was just like, well, either I am terrible or I have to like pass a test to get liked by you guys. And a lot of those kids were like Art Institute kids. They had their clique, and there's one guy that they would look at, and if he was laughing, they would laugh. And so I just started focusing on him, and then I got annoyed with that, so then I just started berating him and just kind of being a dick on stage a little bit. And then I stopped doing fucking stand-up. I was like, apparently this is not my thing here. So bombing is something that like we all have to go through in comedy. And it's a rite of passage. It happens to the greats at the top of their game still. It happens, but indifference. Yeah, and trying to perform in a room that is not immediately conducive to comedy it doesn't work. I've been asked to do like there's an open mic, why don't you just get up and do some of your jokes? I'm like, yeah, no, this is a music open mic where the music is already the background to the people eating dinner. If I get up there and start talking about eating cream cheese for breakfast and how it made me pop out a zit above my penis, you know, like the line is pop out a pimple above my penis because I like alliteration, but like it's not going to work. Someone's just going to hear the pop out a pimple above my penis part and look at me and go, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, just leave me to my lobster, man. Like, go the fuck away. So was that probably, I mean, I would say it seems that was one that stuck with you. Were there any other moments early on that you were just kind of like, this isn't going so well, and maybe I need to rethink? Or was that kind of the moment that you were just like, all right, wrong time, wrong place situation?
Yeah, just wrong time, wrong place sort of thing. You have to take them in stride, and you have to. I always find humor in those occasions. It was just like the fact that my parents were there just always like added a little bit of insult to injury. And like likewise, we played Bangor, Pennsylvania in 2017, the kickoff of our like a short Northeast tour we did. And so we started off at Bangor, and we played this place that I guess closed down like soon after, called The Works, and like similar situation.
It was
like,
wow.
Yeah, it was like a kitchen bar, and I guess like a bunch of bikers started like hanging out there, and eventually got shut down because it became like a biker gang spot.
Oh, nice.
So I heard. Yeah. But that was like, again, there was like maybe like 20 people there, and of course my parents showed up to that, so it's like, no, like it's actually good, but
have they seen you do well yet? Have they been to a show where it was actually you crushed it? No. So you just don't invite your parents anymore because you know 100% it's going to be a bad show.
Yeah, like they can come to Philly if they want to see me crush it, or New York or something. But and then another one, we played Allentown. There's a common theme here with like the Lehigh Valley, Poconos, and bad shows, but. I mean, we played some ragers too. The DIY house shows, basements, those are always fun. But we played Allentown at another bar. I think it was like a block away from where like that car bomb went off a couple years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was Memorial Day weekend, so that was the first mistake. And we went on like dead last, and there was like less than 10 people, which is still more than I perform with certain stand-up comedy crowds.
Yes.
But it's a long way to go to schlep your gear, to bring your bandmates out and try to kill it. I mean, those 10 people or less like had an amazing show. We're gonna go out of our way to put on the best show you can see, regardless of who's in the audience. But
because those 10 people, there are gonna be 3 people that see you and just go, all right, new favorite band. This is who I'm following. I'm telling everybody about this. You get up there and you half-ass, especially with the corpse paint. If you get up there and half-ass it in corpse paint.
Yeah, you gotta go over the top.
That's gotta be the shittiest thing. Or see somebody like in full get up, and then you're just like. All right, here's our next song.
Yeah. There's an excellent ZZ Top documentary on Netflix, and we're also a power trio as our ZZ Top. But they talk about back in the day, they played a show to one person, and they played an entire. They gave him his money's worth. They played like an entire hour long. They had an encore. They bought him a Coca-Cola so he would stay for the encore, and they said that the guy still goes to their shows 50 years later or whatever. So awesome. It really is like one fan at a time. You just have to take that in perspective and keep rocking.
Just giving you a heads up to everybody, we might lose power. Power's starting to flicker over here. We lost power a little bit earlier.
Don't say the word.
We're not going to say the key word that turns off the power. We have a key word that we use now to sign off. And if we say that gentleman's name, I'll let you guess if you want. But if you say this dead vocalist, I'm sorry. We have to interrupt this real quick. So Zach, to keep in theme with the pumpkin things that we've been buying you. Last week we gave him pumpkin baby food, and the week before that we gave him pumpkin butter. And this week we've given you sprouted. I think that's coming from his side. Okay. We've given you sprouted pumpkin seeds. They're snacking seeds. How are they?
They're great.
They're good? That's disappointing. I was hoping they were going to be bad. All right.
There is no bad pumpkin.
All of it's bad to me.
Even the baby food?
Yeah.
That shit was bad.
Did you get Fasano to eat it?
No, I didn't.
You didn't get him to eat it. All right, too bad. All right, so with everything that you have going on in your entertainment world, you've done the comedy, you've done the music. One thing we've not touched on is you participate in some burlesque dancing.
I do, yeah.
Tell us about how that came to be, and just like what brought you to burlesque.
What were you thinking?
I was watching some of the videos. I'm like, this is like I thought it was gonna be kind of. Not to just say gimmicky, but I was like, there's going to be more of a gimmicky thing. But, like, with any gimmick, if you take the art form serious that you're gimmicky, like, doing that joke around with,
well, you have
to take it seriously because then it plays to the joke.
Didn't you have dancers at Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice?
Or Beetle House?
Beetle House? Yeah, we had dancers and stuff like that, but not like real burlesque dancers.
Okay,
this guy would have shit them out of the water. So how did you get into burlesque dancing?
It just came from a hunger to perform, and I saw a couple burlesque shows, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people in the audience here, and it usually treats you a lot better than stand-up comedy shows. I should try to get into this. And I'm lucky that in Philadelphia, there's a red-hot burlesque scene. There are troops like the Peekaboo Review that have been around for like 20 years. One of the people that did my album artwork, Scott R. Johnson, is involved in the burlesque scene and Peekaboo Review. And I've actually just got done performing burlesque a couple of days ago because every year in Philadelphia there's a free 4-day-long burlesque festival called Burlesque and Beyond.
Why do we not know about this?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ! Next year we're going to be there. We'll be there.
Yeah, I mean it was done all virtually.
Yeah, this year that makes sense. Yeah,
the show went on and it was an excellent virtual show. I got to perform for my first virtual festival doing a new burlesque number, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, being around people, seeing it done well made me inspired. With burlesque, I've seen enough great burlesque and I've seen some pretty terrible burlesque, so I try not to do it too often unless I have something of that I put some time and effort into with the costuming and the choreography and making it entertaining.
Hell yeah.
The good news is, the Necrosexual, it's like a personality, and the physicality and the character is already there, so it's something that's easy to kind of shift in different directions, because it's like always my personality that just kind of oozes through whatever the art form is, and it's chaotic, so if I fuck up, it's still kind of funny. So yeah. And then I gotta say, performing burlesque a couple of days ago kind of give me the itch again, so I have another act that I just ordered my pasties for, so that's the first step.
Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully in 2020 or 2021, there'll be a nice speed metal themed burlesque number coming from the Necrosexual.
That was gonna be my next question. When you do burlesque, is it always to metal? Have you done it to more traditional music?
So one of them, it depends. Some of it I've done to Typo Negative, my girlfriend's girlfriend. I've done. Recently, I did a singing strip to That's Life, a cover of That's Life, the Frank Sinatra song. So that's a little bit non-metal.
Yeah.
And I haven't really done too much outside of that. I think the other one I did was like 9 Inch Nails, but I haven't performed that one in a while. So it's usually of the heavier nature, but it doesn't have to be. I think the next one I have planned is going to be a straight up heavy metal celebration in burlesque form that will speak to like kind of the history and the heritage and all things metal, and that I hope to perform with on the road and submit it to festivals and maybe and do give it a real serious go. Have at least one really good burlesque number.
That's awesome. Now, when you got into it and you decided that you were going to using the Necrosexual to do burlesque, what was the reception like from people? Is there like a traditionalist within the burlesque that's like, no, this isn't what burlesque is, even though it is a taboo thing in and of itself, and making a taboo thing more taboo? Did you have any negative response, or were most people like, fuck yes, more of this now?
Yeah, I think that it's a funny story. I mean, my first time I was super green, and it was actually at the opening night of a restaurant, which is like the burlesque spot in Philadelphia, 2015, opening night at Frankie Bradley's, a place that I've gone on to perform at many times, a place that I've had my album release parties at, so it's an excellent cabaret space. But it was their opening night, and again, that dude Scott Johnston, he booked me on their opening night, so thank you, Scott, for letting me do that. I had no idea what I was doing, and I remember that I had I had seen a performer do like a champagne pour that's all like slow and sensuous with glitter, and I was like, oh, I should do that. Of course, my props department was like non-existent, so I got a fucking vase and I put all this glitter in the vase, and then when it comes time for the big reveal at the end, I'm just like, whew, and it just like comes like a fucking glitter bukkake on my face, and and it was right behind like their brand new expensive sound gear. I didn't realize like glitter is like terrible for electronics, so they're just like the managers and the sound guy were flipping out. So they were probably like, fuck this guy, this is like taboo.
Never again.
But,
never.
Yeah, but they've had me back since then, so respect to them, and I've definitely grown as a burlesque performer since then. But that was certainly a memorable cherry popping experience.
Fuck it. Now, you said the festival that you just performed at obviously was a virtual one with everything that's going on in the world. How have you had to change what you do and how you perform? And as a performer, we all get it. Like we lucked out that we have this show, so every week we get to write, record, and release a song that gets those juices flowing and gives us that outlet.
We only play once a year.
But we only play live
and
once
we didn't have to play this year.
Yeah, so it'll be 2 years by the time we do our next live show. But for you, as somebody that so much of what you do hinges on the live interaction, being in either burlesque or doing the comedy or doing the music, how obviously we know how it's affected it, but how have you adapted to the current way of the world with everything having to be virtual?
Yeah, in a way it's been helpful, because for a long time I've wanted to launch like a more regular podcast series, and the COVID world was the right impetus to light that fire under my ass, because previously when I did interviews, it was like if a band came to town and then I had to get like a camera guy, and maybe we'd have to arrange a meeting when they were in town, and the scheduling was very difficult. And now everybody's become normalized and a lot more familiar with Zoom or any sort of like conferencing like this. So pretty much since like the quarantine or since like March or April, I've been like cranking out like new interviews every week, all remotely. So that's been super helpful to me in that regard. And so I'm going to keep up with that. I'm sure the time will come in the future where I can do more in-person stuff, but it's also like super empowering to be able to talk to like a dude in Africa or somebody in Germany.
Oh, hell
yeah.
And
from your living room. Yeah.
I think that is something that while we're hopefully one day going to go back to what will be the new normal then, and we'll be able to do things in person, the push that has happened in the last 6 months of online virtual entertainment, all of the reunions for movies that have been happening. They got the fucking Goonies back together. They're getting everybody that is never available to do things is now going like, I'm bored, I haven't been able to do things, I'm an entertainer and I need
pay attention to me.
I die if I don't get attention.
Now,
I'm fucking like Tinkerbell, you gotta clap for me or I'm dead.
How many of these do you think like the updated or the read through of Fast Times?
Oh, Fast Times read through that.
Was that
Shia LaBeouf? Shia LaBeuf was.
Do you think that should be remade into that movie?
I would watch. I don't really want them to do remakes of them, but I would go see a staged version of Fast Times with Shia LaBeouf just stoned out of his ass playing Spicoli, because that was one of the funnier. Oh, he was so dedicated to that. It was great.
All day Fasano kept showing it to me, while it was happening. Like, I'm driving the truck, and he's like, look at Shia LaBeouf. I was like, we're in traffic.
Yeah, there are cars in front of me, dumb motherfucker.
I didn't get it though, because
you're not Fast Times.
I've never seen that.
You've
movie.
never seen that.
Damn.
I need to watch that as well. I would watch Shia LaBeouf in that role many times before I ever watched the Transformers films with him again.
Yes.
So I'm all for it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, those you should avoid all of that. Just stick to his new stuff. Stick to like Peanut Butter Falcon and fucking Honey Boy. Those things are fucking dope.
Yeah.
So what do you have coming down the pipeline? What is your plan for the future? Whether we're stuck in this world of all virtual things, or if everything opens up, where is the Necrosexual going? Where are your sights set?
Well, I'm not going anywhere, baby. As long as this heart is beating, I'm still going to be raising hell and pushing out those punishing posers with those crunchy ass riffs
and pushing them out. Push those posers out.
Yeah,
Push
right.
them the fuck out.
Yeah, so you can hit up my YouTube at The True Necrosexual, or The Necrosexual on Instagram and Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Spotify, Necrosexual. You search it, you're going to find me, all right? Just say the name, and you will find me in the cyberspace void. In terms of what I have planned for the future, I'm going to keep cranking out those interviews, so stay tuned, because I want to talk to the biggest and hardest hitting names of heavy metal, whether it's in the underground or whether it's the legends that we all grew up listening to. And I definitely have more of both of them in the future. And until then, I'm in the studio. I'm going to head back there tomorrow, actually, to hopefully finish laying down vocals for a new 3-song EP that I started recording back in like November of last year. So it's been a long time coming, and I hope that this quarantine has given me a chance to kind of like take my time a little bit more and really like let everything marinate in the metal. And so that's going to be totally freaking brutal when that finally does come, hopefully before the end of the year. And also on my Bandcamp, brand spanking new, fresh out of the mail, you can get your very own Necrosexual signed 8x10 until we meet once more.
It's so good. That picture is fucking beautiful.
Yes.
Oh my god.
The photo shoot that keeps giving.
What is that, sausage? Beef?
It's no steak was wasted during the photo shoot. I ate all of it. None of it went to waste.
Did you eat it off of your cock, or did you cook it first?
Oh, I cooked it, but I mean like a rare. So yeah, it's got to absorb the heavy metal energy that's resonating from my loins.
That's fucking great. Oh god. Well, thank you so much for being here and doing this interview. Again, just shout into the ether the Necrosexual, and you will find it.
You have to say it. You have to say it like me though. It's gotta be the Necrosexual.
Fucking perfect. You gotta do it, and then if you do it 3 times, you appear in the mirror, right?
Yeah, right. And then I'll slap your bag of box wine and leave.
Yes. Fuck yeah. Awesome. Fuck it. Well, again, thank you so much for being here, man. It's a blast to sit down with you virtually and chit chat. As always, I like to give a big shout out to our super producer for putting us out from Moot.tv. EJ5000 drops us every Monday with the Moot Monday alongside such podcasts as Let Me Ask You a Question and the Derek D. Dozen. There are rumors that White Wasabi is going to be releasing new episodes. They're going to be talking more about anime. And maybe that's how I'll get into anime. They start releasing more. I'll just out of brand loyalty, I'll have to listen, and then I'll get confused about what they're talking about, and I'll go check them out. You can also check out our past guests and friends of the show, Sean Arajo. You can go check him out at Sean and Dave Make Music. Their very special episode should be releasing soon, where they have Todd Glass on. And then also awesome. Check out Not Movies, featuring Sean Summer, and I think, not Dave, Eric? Yeah, I forget. Another guy. And obviously the wonderful ladies over at But What Do We Know? For all of your true crime and conspiracy theory interests, you can go check out But What Do We Know? For Kyle, Mocha Won't Shut Up. Trey Tuck. Go check out Trey Tuck, our featured artist today. At Trey_Tuck_ on Instagram. Check out all of his other, especially Winning. Just go check out the song Winning. It's fucking amazing.
Be a winner.
Oh, you gotta be a winner. You gotta be a winner. But yeah, for Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up, I am Kyle Mocha. Thank you so much to Mr. Justin Olivedo for getting this all together. In my brain, I'm thinking before these lights flicker again, we're going to have to say the name, and I hope the power goes out right when we say the name. But before I say that name, I'm going to say thank you to this name, Mr. Zachary.
An OG fan of the Necrosexual!
Nice.
Doorman! Alright. Fuck
looking good in the March, baby. Yeah.
Oh, if you need a backup vocalist, this guy can help you. Whatever.
Yeah. There's some gang vocals,
All right, guys, we will see you in a couple of weeks. We're going to be taking our 2-week break now. We'll be back mid-October, where we're going to continue the Americana train, and we're going to have a really awesome guest on our Halloween episode. Jackie Delgado is going to be in studio. They're coming back that week, so we're getting them here as opposed to via Zoom or anything like that, which is awesome. Which I guess means we're going to make Nick Dario sit in the corner over there and not say anything the entire time. We're going to be like, no, Nick, you had your time. This is her time now. You misogynistic little freak.
Are they dressing up?
Oh, I don't know. I don't. We should we dress up for that episode?
Her new stuff is doing really good.
Her new stuff is doing. Oh yeah, I didn't write the name of her new show, but her new show is fucking crushing it. If I can find it real quick before we. Not going to be able to find it. Oh, Our Paths Podcast. Our Paths Podcast. It's all about spirituality. She had a guy that reads like runes and stuff. That's like a Swedish, into the Swedish mythos
rune
and everything.
Reader.
A rune reader. The entire show, I was thinking they were saying room reader, and I'm like,
yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah,
like, he reads the room real well. I'm like, I can subscribe to that religion.
Everyone in this room is a dickhead.
Yeah, you're all dickheads. I looked at the stones on the ground and they told me. All right, guys. Well, yeah, go check all those out. And again, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time,
fuck you.
Fuck the fans and Jeff Buckley.
Jeff Buckley.
Jeff Buckley? No.
Jeff Buckley. Jeff Buckley.
Jeff Buckley.
There's nothing more egomaniacal than singing the theme music for your own show. Who am I? Kelsey Grammer. If I could only drink like him. We're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be weak. We're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be total experiment.